Okay, the next concept is indentation level. Okay, one of the most important concept in the context of the Python, because the whole Python code, depend upon the indentation. Okay, now what is indentation? We will describe in great detail right now. So the next concept is called indentation. Okay, the meaning of the indentation is the way to write the things. Okay, the way to write the things. If you are coming from the C, C++ and Java background, then what exactly you do over there? So let's suppose I am first elaborating the thing into the C, C++, because if you have seen C, C++, then easily this concept would be more easy for you guys. Okay, so let's suppose inside C++, don't worry about it. If you don't know about C++, just enjoy my wording and enjoy my code. Okay, inside C, C++, if I try to do something like this, for int I is equal to 0, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus. I just take a simple for loop. This is the for loop syntax inside C, C and C++, even inside the Java. So here, let's suppose I want to associate these lines. Okay, these are my problem, these are my the statements, these are the logic. Okay, so if I want to associate these lines with this for loop, okay, with this for loop, now what I have to do, I have to take the advantage of these curly braces. Okay, these curly braces. Now what is the meaning of these curly braces? The meaning of these curly braces is these lines, how many lines I can write, that there is no limit. You can write n number of lines. You can write thousands of lines. You can write 2000 lines, or you can write the n number of lines. There is no limit. But how my compiler, how my interpreter will understand these lines are part of this for loop. Okay, these lines are part of this for loop. So for specifying these lines under this for loop, I explicitly use these curly braces. Okay, now these curly braces define the life cycle of this for loop, because inside these curly braces, whatever I write, that would be part of this for loop. Okay, so my interpreter will understand, my compiler will understand, okay, this one is the curly brace and this one is the curly brace of. Now whatever the programmer written inside these curly braces, that would be the part of this for loop. Okay, so this is the concept in C, C++. Okay, but inside Python the significance of curly brace is something else. Okay, if I use something like this, that would be treated as a set or treated as a dictionary, as we already discussed into the previous sections. So how I can define this type of concept inside Python? For defining this concept inside Python, you have to take the advantage of this concept, that is the indentation. Okay, indentation, the way to write the the code, way to write your logics. So indentation play important role, very important role. In the starting age, you guys may feel difficulty to understand it. Okay, so don't worry about it. As soon as you do practice, automatically the finger will be settled down on this indentation level. So you don't worry about it, because in starting days, the people feel some difficulty, or 1 day, 2 day. After that, when they start making the code, automatically the things become more clear. So you don't worry about it. This is very easy step and very, the well prepared step. You guys will automatically understand, okay, yes, this is the part of this, this is the part of this. Prior to moving to this indentation level, let me show you what exactly what I want to say, that is the indentation level, so that the picture would be more clear and the things will become more easy to understand. Okay, so let me take the the large amount of code where the 20 or maybe more than 50 lines. Okay, just take this scenario. Rather than to take this, first I will let me check which code is much better to explain. Okay, no, it's not a good. Okay, just wait for a second. No, here again the things will become more tricky. Grade test pp, or you can say Pascal. Okay, just wait for test. Okay, just understand this concept. This is very simple script, and what I want to explain, that is the concept of the indentation. Just focus on the indentation. You don't know about this for loop, okay, you don't know about this if, don't worry about it. Just understand the concept of the indentation level. So this is very simple script. It will fetch the data from this particular website, and after fetching the data, it will write into the files and automatically make the folder save. So that is not our concern. Okay, so for just clarification of this script, I am just giving you the description of this script, what exactly this script is doing. So you don't bother about it, what exactly it is doing. You just focus on the indentation level. Now after watching this, automatically the picture is more clear. This for loop is part of this statement. Okay, this statement, and this for loop is automatically understand this for loop is part of this statement, and this if condition is part of this for loop. Okay, this line is dependent upon this if condition, this line is dependent upon this else condition, these lines are part of this for loop. Okay, this again if condition that is separate from this if condition. Okay, and this is the part of this for loop. Okay, this statement is associated with this if, this statement is associated with this statement is associated with this, the entire thing, this entire thing is part of this statement. So now this concept is called indentation. This concept is called indentation, because if it's a C++, then what I will do, I use this for loop, and then I have to specify over here the curly braces, then I have to specify here the if condition. After if condition, you have to again specify the curly braces, again you have to close this curly braces, else part, again curly braces off, then to close this for loop, again you have to use this curly braces. But here the concept is a little different. That is, it take the tab indentation. Okay, that concept is called indentation. Here if I observe carefully, there is one tab. Okay, there is one tab. If I observe carefully, there is another tab, there is one more another tab, that's mean two tabs. Okay, if I observe carefully, then you can easily imagine it, here are the three tabs. Okay, three tabs. And if I clearly observe it, here how many tabs are there? 2, 3 and 4 tabs. Okay, now this 4 tabs mean this is the part of this, and this if 3 tabs mean this is the part of this for loop. This for loop 2 tab, that's mean it's the part of this for loop. Okay, 1 tab, this is the part of this function. Okay, now clearly observe it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, how many tabs are there? 3 tabs. So 3 tabs here, 3 tabs here. Okay, so it is the part of this for loop. This entire step is the part of this for loop, and this for loop, this entire for loop. Okay, this entire for loop is a part of this one, and this one is again separate statement, that is not part of this for loop, but this is again part of this for loop, the upper for loop. Okay, and this entire step, the entire for loops and entire this line of code is part of this step. So this is the very simple concept to understand the concept of the indentation level, and you have to maintain this indentation level, otherwise you will get the error messages. Okay, now I will show you one more code. Now you will automatically understand which one is the part of which one. Okay, so let's take a very small code. Okay, I am just taking this code. Okay, so if I clearly observe it, here is no tabs, that means there are independent statements. Here is if. Okay, here is if, and if after that you are getting one condition, and this if this condition is true, then this would be implemented. Okay, this would be no, I will not show you because this one is your assignment. Okay, so I am showing you. Okay, so let's understand the scenario. This one is a function, and inside function these 4 statements, that would be the part of this okay, this function. Again this one is the part of this one. Okay, if I scroll down, okay, there is one more function. Inside that function, now you can observe the if condition. Inside if condition, this would be the part of this if. Okay, this would be the part of this elif. Okay, so this is the while true condition, and again this one is the part of this while. So I think you have little idea about the indentation level. What is the meaning of the indentation level? I will show you once again, and I will give you one more reference. And this one is very basic to understand the if condition. Okay, starting days, don't worry about it. You may confuse. Okay, you may will do the wrong way. Don't worry about it. So don't get demotivated. As soon as your course will be increased, automatically your mind and finger set will be increased. Okay, so don't worry about it, but make sure you have to, when you are making the concept of the indentation, that taking care about these spaces. Okay, so here there are two ways to separate these things. The one is you can take 4 spaces. Okay, you can take 4 spaces. Okay, the second thing, you can take one tab. Okay, you can take one tab, and where tab is, you can easily understand. On the left hand side, the shift, on the shift of, there is caps lock, on the caps lock there is tab. So you can check it out. There is something like this. Okay, the syntax is something like this, so you will get this. So this is the tab. Okay, so I will always prefer to my students, make sure with this tab. Okay, with this tab, rather than to take 4 spaces, always I will give the preference over the tabs. Because why so? Because understand this. Again, I am opening this script now. If I maintaining, okay, if I maintaining the tab, then it is very easy to understand. Okay, there are 1 tab, okay, there are 2 tabs, there are 3 tabs, there are 4 tabs. If I maintain the spaces, if you start with spaces, that means you have to maintain the spaces as well throughout this entire code. If you're starting with tab, that make sure you are making the, the maintaining the code with the help of the tab. So it is not like this, here you are using 4 spaces and here you are using tab. Make sure if you want to go with the tabs, then entire code should be go with tab separated. Okay, if you are going with spaces, that entire code will be separated by the spaces. But I will always give the preference over the tabs. Okay, so why so? Understand it. Here I am just keep remembering, okay, there are only 4 tabs. Okay, there are only 4 tabs. In this case, there are only 4 tabs. Okay, so this case, 1 tab, 2 tab, 3 tab and 4 tab. So if I maintaining the code with the spaces, so how many spaces I have to take care over here? 4 into 4. That means 16 spaces that I have to, take care about the 16 spaces over here, and that would be little complicated. Let's suppose one statement is coming over here. Then how you can maintain? Rather than to keep remember 4 tabs, it is very rather than to keep remember 16 spaces, it is very easy to maintain the 4 tabs. So I will always give you the suggestion, always try to follow with the tabs. So spaces, yes, you can make the same thing with the help of spaces, but that would be the little complicated when your code is exceeded, because this is very small code. In real time scenarios, the code can be of the 1000 lines, or can be of the 2000 line, or can be of the n number of line. If I show you some code, definitely here would be some kind of code. Yeah, now you can imagine it. So this code is approximately for 40 lines. Okay, this is the machine learning code. Okay, this code is very small. Okay, this code is only 30 lines code. Okay, you can check it out again. This is the machine learning code, and this code is approximately 80 lines of code. Okay, so this type of, whenever you solving the complex problems, so at that time the picture will be more the complicated. So you can check it out. The code is minimum, the code, if you want to solve any problem, the minimum 20 line of code is there into the real time production. But same thing if you want to implement into the C++, yes, you can achieve the same thing into the C++. Where I am using this 10 line of code or 20 line of code, again you have to use the the 50 line of code, might be that could be happen into the 70 line of code. Okay, so you can check it out. This one is the code, and this is very useful script, and it is only for the 29 line of code. Okay, 29 line of code, and it is very useful script. Same thing I implemented into the C language or C++ language. There I have to write 50 lines of code to implement the same thing. Okay, to implement the same thing. But things are possible into the any of the programming language. But inside Python, the things become very simple and easy. Okay, again I am repeating, simple doesn't mean your program will automatically think, your logic would be automatically implemented. For the logic part, whatever language that you are using, whether it's a C, C++ or Java, the logic is your concern. Okay, so don't worry about it. So now I will show you, now I will ask you the question. Okay, so let's suppose this is my notepad. Okay, this is my notepad. Just observe the scenario of the indentation. Okay, I will explain the concept of the indentation. Okay, so this is my notepad. So I write the statement number 1, statement number 2. Okay, here I am writing a condition. Okay, let's suppose this one is condition, and I am making one tab. Okay, one tab, 3. Okay, again let's suppose, okay, let me write the condition as well. Okay, so this one is second statement. So here I am writing a if condition. Okay, inside if I implemented some kind of logic. Here I am taking one tab. Okay, this is statement number 3. Okay, this is statement number 4. Okay, and then I took again one tab, that is 4. Okay, and this one here I am taking two tabs, okay, and statement number 5, statement number 6. Now inside this I am making one more if, okay, then statement number 7, statement number 8, okay, and here I am using else, okay, this is statement number 9, statement number 10, okay, after that, and this one is if, okay, this one is else, okay, again the statement 11, the statement 12. Now again if I am using one more for loop, okay, this for loop, the 13, the 14, and then 15, okay, then 16 and 17, okay. So this is my code. Now you guys will tell me. Okay, you guys will tell me. Okay, now this is the line of code, okay, properly follow the indentation level. Now I'll ask you one by one, or you can give if you want to willing, you can give, everyone can give the answer. Okay, just tell me statement number 1 and 2, is it dependent or independent? When statement number 1 or 2 will be executed? Okay, just tell me, anyone who wants to give the answer, anyone can give.
Sir, independent.
Okay, this one is the independent. Yes, perfect. This is the independent. This is not a concern with any of the logic. Okay. Okay, so now this time I am asking, okay, when would be this 8 statement would be executed? Okay, you guys will tell me. Anyone who is willing to tell, that can give the answer. The line number 8. Anyone? Line number 8, when it would be executed? Anyone, please? When this line number 8 would be executed? No one? Okay. Yes, please.
Is it if when all the other statements?
Okay. Now, okay. Now I'll tell you. I explain each and everything. The 1 and 2, these are the independent statement. It is none of concern with any of your code. It will be implemented. It will implement it. Okay. Any of the cases it would be implemented. Now understand it. There is if, and inside if I implemented some kind of condition. If this condition is true, okay, if this condition is true, then the 3 and 4 will be executed. 3 and 4 will be executed. After that, the control will be moved to the for loop. Okay. Now implemented this for loop line number 5th and 6th will be implemented. Okay, after that it would follow this condition. If this condition is true, then the 7th and 8th would be implemented. If this condition is false, then your else part will be implemented, and inside else the 9th and 10th condition statement will be implemented. So I am repeating once again, your 1 and 2 are independent statement, it will be executed. If this condition is true, then the control is moved to the 3rd and the 4th one. It would be executed because this is the part of this if. Now again this 4 would be executed because again this 4 is part of this your if condition. Now 5th and 6th will be executed inside 4 because this if statement is, this if condition is, that is part of this for loop. And when this if condition is true, then your 7th and 8th will be executed. If this if is not true, then your 9th and 10th would be executed. Okay, now you guys will tell me when this 14 condition will be executed. Okay, now you guys will tell me.
If the for loop is true of 12th line.
If this condition is fail, okay, none of this statement would be executed. If this condition is true, none of this if this condition is false, okay, if this condition is false, then none of this, the statement would not be executed. Control directly transfer to this else, because this if, okay, this if and this else, okay, because I use this else and this else is associated with if you clearly observe it, there is no gap, these are the perpendicular to each other, okay, opposite, exactly opposite to each other. So this if it is false, then the control will travel to the else part, and condition number 11 and 12 will definitely executed. After that the control is moved to the 4 condition. If 4 will be implemented, and then the condition 13 and 14 will be implemented. Okay, now you guys can tell me this 15 condition, okay, 15 statement is part of which one? Part of which one? The for loop or else loop or else condition? This 15 is part of, if you clearly observe it, there is similar tabs, okay, then this 15 is part of this else. Okay, after completion of this for loop, then your 15 number statement would be executed, and that is not part of this for loop. Okay, that is not part of this for loop. The condition number 13 and the sorry, I am again repeating it condition, but these are the statement, because condition is this one, if. Okay, and this statement number 13 and 14, statement number 13 and 14 is concerned with your for condition. Okay, and same thing over here, the 5 and 6, it is concerned, it is associated with this 4, and again this if again it is part of this 4. Okay, again if this is part of this 4, because here you can observe the 1 tab, 2 tab. Here how many tabs are there? 1 tab, 2 tab and 3 tab. 3 tabs mean it is following this indentation. So can you tell me the 16 and 17 are concerned with? 16 and 17 are concerned with? (16 and 17) Yes, perfectly. It's an independent statement. It none of concern with any of this if, any of this else. So these would be executed. When this would be executed? After completion of this if or completion of this else, because inside if or else there would be only one scenario would be true. If this scenario is true, then this would be implemented. If this scenario is fail, then this else will be implemented. So I think little idea about this if and else or indentation. Okay, so don't worry about it. So just keep this thing into the mind. Step by step, I am not giving you this much code on very first day, and very first day you will get the code only 5 lines or 3 lines. Don't worry about it. Okay, so understand next concept. So indentation play important role. Indentation plays the important role because it is the the foundation of the Python programming. If you want to establish your career into the Python programming, so this is the first step. Okay, first stage. Now moving to the next one. So we learn very basics about the data types. Okay, we learn the operators. Okay, now we learn how you are getting the data from the user with the help of input function. Now the next one is the iterative statements. Okay, iterative statements. So if I define the iterative statements, then the one is conditional statement. Okay, then is iterative statements. Okay, iterative statements, and then is your transfer statements. Okay, transfer statements. Now you can say it is statement inside Python. Very simple way. Some terminology you can use. The statements inside Python. The one is the conditional statements. Okay. The second is your iterative statements. The third is your transfer statements. So inside your conditional statements, okay, if, then, if else, okay, if else, then if, elif, and else. Okay, so these are the conditional statements. In the case of iterative statements, we have only 2 iterative statements, for and while. That's it. Okay, inside transfer statements, then we have pass, break, okay, break, and continue. Okay, so these are the statements that are available inside the Python, and with the help of these statements, you are able to do the code, because no problem can be solved without these statements. So these are the foundation of any programming language. Okay, not inside the Python. These things are available any of the programming languages. Okay, so because with the help of these statements, with the help of all these statements, you are capable to solve any real-time problems. So keep this funda into the mind. whenever you are going to solve any real time problem or any problem that is the combination of your conditional, your iterative or your transfer statements, because this is the foundation, the first step. Don't worry about it. By the way, we will cover approximately 50 programs over here with the help of these conditional, iterative and transfer statement. Here you will cover more than 10 to 12 programs are here, 10 programs are here, 5 to 6 programs are here. Okay, with the help of these there are more 5 to 6 programs are here. So don't worry about it. So our concern is, the major concern today, we don't know about this. Okay, we don't know about it. That is not our concern for today. Our concern for today is we have to understand the concept of the conditional statements first. Okay, we have to understand the concept of the conditional statements first. So today we will discuss in great detail about the conditional statement. Then after performing some programs with the conditional statement, then we will move to the iterative, and inside iterative statement we will use these transfer statements. So don't worry about it. Okay, so I will touch today this point. Okay, now understand the conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements. Now conditional statement, automatically the English meaning is conditional statement. Okay, conditional. The same thing over here. If you want to perform any condition inside your programming logic, then you have to follow the conditional statement. Inside Python we have if. Okay, inside Python that we have if and else. Inside Python we have if, elif. Okay, elif and else. If you are coming from the C++ background, there is else if. Okay, so here else if is nothing. You are supposed to use, the concept is same, but you are supposed to use elif. Okay, I will touch this point. So now very first one, that is the if condition. Okay, if. Okay, very simple, if. Okay, now understand it. Very simple program. I am taking a data from user. Okay, I am taking a data from user. Let's suppose I am asking from a user, please enter your age. User enter, let's suppose 18. Okay, let's suppose 18. Now I want to implement only those users. Okay, I want to implement only those users whose age is, okay, whose age is more than 18. Okay, that is my problem statement. The client give you one small script or some very small program. You are supposed to only process those people who are having age greater than 18. That's it. That is your problem statement. Okay, so very simple. First, whenever you are trying to solve any question, any problem, try to listen it carefully, try to read it carefully. Okay, so always this is the one funda to understand the programming language. Okay, understand the problem statement, because people 90% they don't read it carefully and start doing the attemptation. So always make the mistakes. Okay, so this is one funda. If you want to give the exact solution, then try to understand that problem statement, and after that try to find out the mathematics behind that, because I already told you every problem come with the mathematics. Even you are solving any simple to simple problem inside programming languages, that comes with the mathematics, even into the machine learning, data analytics. Okay, even into the the simple problems. Okay, so now don't worry about it. I already told you, you are capable enough to handle the mathematics, because you clear your 10th standard, you clear your 9th standard, you clear your even +2 standard, or your plus 1 and +2 standard. So don't worry about it. So I am not asking for your graduation level mathematics. The simple mathematics, mostly the mathematics is dependent upon your 6th, 7th, 8th or 9th or 10th standard. Very basic mathematics. Okay, but yes, inside the machine learning, the mathematics is totally dependent on the +1 and +2. So don't worry about it. So age is 18. Okay, I ask from the user. My problem statement is that if age is, okay, just I read this line into the normal English terminology. If the age is greater than 80, then you are welcome, otherwise you are sorry. Okay, they are very simple statement. The same thing if you want to implement into the programming languages. So I focus on the age. So first you have to ask the age, and after that you have to implement in some kind of logic over them. Okay, so logic, we know it, greater than. We already studied into the previous videos what is the the operator which tell you the relation between two variables, two values. Okay, so we know the relation operators, and we know this one are the relational operators that we studied Okay, that we studied. So now the question is, now if, okay, if I want to implement if the user age is greater than 18, then you are supposed to proceed it, otherwise you are not supposed to proceed it. So if we know inside Python we have if, we have this if, okay, we have this if. So now I am using the combination of this if and the relational operators. So first I read problem statement very carefully. I am supposed to make a very small script. It will ask the age from the user, and if the age is greater than 18, then I will process that user, otherwise I will say, simply say, sorry sir, you are not allowed. Okay, so very simple. So for the same, open the notepad, okay, everything that we have to do into the notepad. Now first I ask from the user age, int of input of, okay, give the message enter age. Okay, the user enter age, that age is inside your, you know, this variable. Now let's suppose user enter 18. Okay, now again it's my logic, what I want to do with this age. Okay, I want to perform some kind of condition over this age. So for the same I am doing if age, okay, if age greater than, I know this, greater than 18. Okay, if this age, whatever age user enter, that is greater than 18. Okay, this one is the syntax. Okay, this one is the syntax inside Python, that you have to implement the colon. Now keep this point into the mind. Whenever you use these colons, inside Python, so make sure in the very next line that it is mandatory to maintain the tab separated. Okay, so I am pressing over here one tab and I am saying, writing over here, print welcome to my club. Okay, welcome to my club. Very simple and small program, very easy program. So understand this concept. Age, I ask from the user age. Let's suppose user enter 17. Okay, user enter 17. Now what is happening over here? The age contains 17. 17 greater than 18? No, condition is false. If the condition is false, then this statement wouldn't be execute. So this statement won't be execute. Keep this funda into the mind. This statement is depend upon this condition. Okay, here the condition is this one. If this condition is true, then this statement would be executed. Now I make this simple program, very simple program. Now in the second case, okay, in the first case user enter 17, he didn't get any message. Now he is confused, sir, why my data is not processed. Okay, let's suppose the same scenario, you are entering username and password, you are entering wrong username and password, but you are not getting any message. Then what you will do? You will retrying it, again click on login. But when you get the message, okay, your username and password is invalid. So immediately you will think about it, okay, whether this is the right or wrong. So you will check it out. Otherwise, if I didn't give you any message, then what will be happen? You will keep on trying and trying. When you will get this message, okay, this username and password is invalid, immediately you will check about these characters, whether you write these character appropriate or not. Okay, so same thing over here. If this condition is not true, okay, then what is happening? The user won't get any message. But in the case of condition is true, let's suppose the user enter 19. Okay, in the case of 18, it won't be work again, because I make a clause over here, age is greater than 80 only, not equals to. If you want to implement the person who are getting the age 18, so for here you have to write this greater than equals to 18. Okay, we studied it. So let's suppose this time user enter 19. Okay, user enter 19. Now 19 is greater than 18, the condition is true. On the screen you will get the message, welcome to my club. Okay, welcome to my club. So this one is the funda. Okay, this one is a funda. So please just wait for a second. Okay. So when the user enter 19, then he will get the message on the screen, welcome to my club or my channel, whatever you want to say. But user enter 17, the user won't get any message and he will keep on trying. Okay, so handle this situation. What I will use? I will use the concept of if and else. Okay, very simple funda. If your age is greater than 18, then welcome, else I am sorry. Very simple English terminology. There is no need to explanation the more things. Okay, now Now how I can implement this else? Keep this point into the mind. Okay, now how I can implement this else? So for else implementation, because I am implementing this if, this else with this if, okay, because this is dependent upon this, this is dependent on this. So otherwise this condition, if this condition is true, then this statement is executed. If this condition is not true, okay, if this condition is not true, then your else would be executed. Else colon, okay, else colon print of I am sorry. Very simple. I am sorry. Okay, I am sorry. So this is the funda. Let's suppose now this time user enter age 17. So this condition is true. This condition is false. The control is moved to the else part, and else would be executed. I am sorry, your age is below 18. Very simple. Now user get the confirmation, okay, why I am not processing, only this reason, because my age is not at that point that is required for this company or this channel. So this is the concept. So make sure if is associated with this else, it would be executed or it would be executed. This both couldn't be executed. Both couldn't be executed. Okay. By sometimes student do mistake. They implement their one more condition. Okay, that is not feasible. So inside else, keep this funda inside the mind. Inside else, you are not supposed to supply any condition. Okay, like this. You are not supposed to process any condition. Otherwise, you will get the error message. Okay. So again, the funda is again same. You are simply use else, and after else that you are supposed to use colon. And whenever you use colon, make sure you have to make the tab indented. Whatever statement that you want to write under this else, that should be tab indented. So keep this funda into the mind. Okay, keep this funda into the mind. Okay, I will show you the practical for the same. Now the picture would be more clear. Okay, then I will move to this if elif part. Okay, so don't worry about it. So I am opening into the Python for basics, and then my work. Okay, and inside my work island mesh 2. Okay, so understand it. I am making very simple script, very simple code. I am asking from user age. I am converting that into the integer. Okay, you know it very well. Enter age. Okay, and then after that I am implementing very simple logic. If age greater than 18, then tab indented. You can check it out. Tab indented. Print welcome to my channel, or my whatever what you want to display, you can display. Okay, so I am saving it. Very simple funda, you know it. Save as. Okay, slow. Okay, save as. Let's suppose I am giving the name test2.py. Okay, so executing it, cmd py space test2.py. Now very simple, enter age. Now this time I am entering age 12, so I am not getting any message. Okay, so this time I am repeating once again. Now this time I am entering age, that is 34. Now I am getting a message, welcome to my channel. Okay, so this statement would be execute only if this condition is true. Okay, so now this time I am implementing else, and again else you are using this colon. When you use this colon, again you have to maintain the tab indentation. Print you are minor. Okay, now understand the concept. Okay, I am minor, that's why I am not supposed to process further. So I am saving it and I am running it. Now this time I enter age 12. Now I am getting you are minor. Whenever I age, okay, if I enter 18, so again I am getting minor. Why so? Because I make a condition over here, the age should be greater than. Okay, age should be greater than 18, but I want to process the 18, the 18 age as well. So for here, what you have to do, greater than or equals to. Okay, now this time it will process the 18 as well. Now you are getting the output, that is welcome to my channel. One more time, this time I am entering 12 and you are getting your minor. Okay, so okay, I am taking okay, now this time I am writing one more statement. This statement is not concerned with if, this statement is not concerned with else. Okay, so very simple. Here I am typing end of program. Okay, end of program. So now this would be happen. Okay, this would be happen whether the condition is true or false, it would be happen. Now this time the condition is false, again end of program is happening. Why so? Because this is not part of anyone, this one is the independent statement. Okay, again I am writing. Okay, this time the condition is true. Okay, this time the condition is true, again it's happening welcome to my channel. Okay, and end of the program. Why so? Because this is not concerned with anyone. Okay, if I make it tab indented, now it is the part of the else statement. Now when it will execute it, when this condition is fails, then it will be executed end of the program. Now I will show you. Now the picture would be more clear about the indentation. Okay, age is, let's suppose 12. Now this time it is happening, you are minor, end of the program. Okay, now let's suppose the age is 33. Now okay, I think I didn't save it, so let me save this file, save it. Okay, now execute it. Okay, now this time I'm implementing 33. Now you are getting it welcome to my channel. Okay, welcome to my channel. It won't be happen. Why so? Because this is the part of only else. When I remove this tab indentation, then it becomes the independent statement. So I think picture is more clear about it. Okay, very simple, very easy concept. Now there is one more program I am showing inside it. So find the greater number between two numbers. Okay, A and B. Okay, I am taking two numbers A and B. Okay, Control C, Control V. Input enter A. Okay, enter A. Input enter B. So I am asking from user about two numbers. If A greater than B, then print A is greater. Okay, A is greater, else B is greater. Very simple, B is greater. Okay, very simple. Now very simple program, I make this condition, implement it. CLS of enter A 12, enter B 33. Okay, now B is not defined. Okay, here the capital one. So make sure if you are using B or any variable, if you define capital, then you are supposed to use capital. Okay, so I think I did mistake over here because I took a capital, here I took a small, so that's why it's giving me the error message. So keep these things into the mind. Okay, now A 12, B 33. Now you are getting B is greater. Okay, one more time, this time I am making A greater. Now you are getting the output A is greater. So this is very simple funda, very simple if and else part. I think the picture is more clear. So the next one is this one is very simple, if and else. You can even use, okay, logical operator between these two. So I am implementing same thing. Okay, I am implementing same thing. So this one, the same example that we discussed, I am taking the marks of English. Okay, I am taking the marks of your mathematics, the same example that we discussed when we perform the theoretical concept. Okay, if English marks greater than 65 and maths marks that are greater than 75, then I give the message to the user, welcome to my college, or you can say you are eligible. Else what you have to say, sorry, you are not eligible. Okay, whatever. Okay, sorry, you are not eligible. Okay, now this is the condition, you can observe it. We already discussed into the the theoretical section when we understand this logical operator. Now this time, if this both conditions are true, let's suppose the person scored the marks that is more than 65 into the English and more than 75 into the mathematics, then the person is eligible. Okay, otherwise if this condition is fail, then print the message, sorry, you are not eligible. Okay, so I am running it and saving it first. So CLS. Okay, now this time let me make this more sensible. Now understand this concept. If I don't use sensible information, now what make it sense? It doesn't make any sense. Enter A, enter B. Okay, so always try to give the relevant messages. Okay, enter English marks. Okay, now the picture is more clear. Enter math marks. Okay, now the picture would be more clear. Now English marks, let's suppose this time I enter 77, mathematics marks 89. Now the picture is more clear. The condition is true. If the condition is true, then mean I will get the message that welcome to my college. Okay, let's suppose the case number 2 that we discuss. In this time I scored 78 marks into the English, but inside mathematics I took only 65. Okay, is this valid situation? No, it's not a valid situation, because I implement over here and mean in the both of the cases you are supposed to score more than 75 into the mathematics and more than 65 into the English. But here inside English I scored 78, but inside mathematics I scored only 65. So this condition is not true. Sorry, you are not eligible. Okay, third case. In this case, what I am saying, I am scoring, let's suppose inside English I scored 62 marks. Inside mathematics I scored 89 marks. Again the situation is not fulfilled. So this is the concept. Okay, let's suppose again this time inside English 65, inside mathematics 75. Again I am not eligible. Why so? Because I mark a condition over here. If the English marks is greater than, only greater than, okay, not equals. But I want to eligible those guys who score the equal marks. Then you have to implement this scenario. Okay, so let me show you. Now this time 65 into this, 75 into this. Now you are getting the output, welcome to my college. Okay, so you are supposed to use this one. Now this time I am making OR part. Okay, I am making OR part. So OR mean if one of the condition is true, then the output would be true. So same thing I am implementing. Now this time inside English, okay, I scored 55 marks, but inside mathematics I scored 90 marks. Now the picture is fulfilled. Okay, the condition is fulfilled. Now welcome to my college, because one condition is true. Doesn't matter if another is satisfied or not, because I implement the OR over here. When I implement the OR, we know it very well. If one of the condition is true, then the output would be true. Doesn't matter whether this condition is true, but yes, inside processing, if this condition is true, it won't check this one. Why should I waste my time? Okay, because there can be n number of condition. Okay, or there can be n number of condition. You can impart n number of condition. That don't any limit. You can impart n number. Then why should I waste my resources to check all these conditions if I implement OR only? So if this condition is true, then it won't check any of the condition, for saving the resources, for saving the memory. Okay, so this is all about your if and else. Now the next is, any doubt? Please let me ask before moving further. Any doubt? You can ask me before moving further, please. If in this context you are having any doubt, please ask me. Okay, good. So I am moving to the next one. Okay, the next is your if, elif, else. Okay, this one is the next condition. If, elif, and else. Okay, so understand it. If the first funda, you can use n number of elif. So student may ask this question n number of times, sir, we can use only single elif? No, you can take n number of elif. There is no limit. Okay, and after that you are supposed to take this else. So now understand this concept first into the layman term, then we will come back to this technical point. So understand it. You are planning to go somewhere. Okay, let's suppose this one your destination. Okay, you are planning to go somewhere. That's mean it's one your destination. Let's suppose you want to go zoo. Okay, anything, or you can go for the movie. So you are at your home. You are planning to go to the movie. Okay, so for going the movie, definitely you need some kind of vehicle. Okay, so your show is at 4 p.m. Okay, your show is at 4 p.m. Your Python show is at 4 p.m. And for that, what plans you are making? Okay, so you need a vehicle. You need a vehicle to go over there. So you don't have any vehicle. Okay, just imagine this scenario. You don't have any vehicle. What you will do? You will make a plan. You will make a plan. The plan number 1, I will ask vehicle from John. Okay, let's suppose John didn't give you. John says, okay, my vehicle is busy, sorry, I cannot give you. So now what next? The plan number 2. Okay, the plan number 2. The plan number 2 is you will go for the Alex. Okay, Alex say, sorry, I don't have vehicle because my vehicle is not out of range, whatever. Okay, then again the plan number 3, I will go for the McCallum. Okay, McCallum says, no, sir, no, I cannot give you because I have to go somewhere. Okay, don't worry about it. Then the next plan, okay, the next plan you will go to the Ravi. Okay, Ravi. The Ravi also say you, no, sorry, I cannot give you. Okay, then finally you will go, okay, don't worry about it, I will go by a bus. I will go with the bus. Okay, so this one is the else part. If your all plans are failed, okay, if your all plans are failed, then by default your else will be executed. So this is simple concept. Okay, so let's suppose the case number 1, John give you key of your bike. Okay, key of his bike. So what you will do? You will just implement that vehicle and reach to your destination. So don't need to go to Alex, don't need to go McCallum, don't need to go Ravi. Okay, you don't need to go anywhere. Because your condition is satisfied over here. You get a key or you get a vehicle from the John. So don't need to process all this. Okay, let's suppose John reject you. Then what you will do? In the next plan, you will go to the Alex. Okay, if Alex give you the key of your key of vehicle, then you don't need to go to McCallum. Okay, you don't need to go for the Ravi. Okay, let's suppose Alex again say, no, I will not give you. Then again plan McCallum and McCallum give you. So you will take the bike of the McCallum. Okay, if all conditions are fail, all person rejected you, all person say, okay, our vehicle is busy and we are not supposed to give you a vehicle, then your default plan is this one. Don't worry about it, I will go via bus. So same funda inside the programming language. If you want to implement multiple conditions, then what you have to do? What you will do? You will take the help of this elif statement. Okay, you are supposed to take the help of this elif statement. So what is the syntax? I am not showing you the practical part because I am giving you the the assignment for the same. So if your base condition, okay, then this one is your condition. Whatever statement that you want to write, you can write. There is no limit. Okay, then elif. Okay, elif is again take one condition. Okay, here you are specifying condition. Doesn't matter the condition is with or and, that is again depend upon the problem statement. Okay, again you are specifying one more condition. Okay, there is one more condition, you are specifying it, and inside this one, inside this one, and at the end that you are specifying else. Okay, else, and this one is your default condition. So if is true, then execute this number of line. Then if this condition is not true, then it will check for this condition. If this condition is true, then it will execute this number of line. If it is not true, then it will move to this one and it will check of this condition. If it is again not true, then by default, if all elif and if is fail, then it will process the else part. That is your default statements. Okay. So always the same funda, the whatever that we define a very simple example for the movie example, the same thing implementing over here. But here the movie is not concerned. Here your logic is. Okay, your logic is play the important role. Okay, if this is true, then process this. Okay, this condition is failed, don't worry about it, I will check it. For the same scenario, I will give you just same scenario. I will not show you the practical part, but I will give you the reference. Let's suppose there is one condition. The first condition is English marks should be greater than 80 and your mathematics marks greater than 75. If this condition is not true, okay, don't worry about it. Then there is one more condition. There is one more condition. The condition is that your English marks should be greater than 60 and your science marks is greater than or equal to 75. So you can implement something like this. Okay, you can implement something like this. If any of these conditions are true, then welcome to my college. Otherwise, simply say sorry, you are not eligible for the same. So I am giving you just reference L if. Okay, L if, and inside L if that you are specifying some kind of condition and press enter, then you have to take the tab. Okay, now you can observe it. You can observe it or are perpendicular to each other. Okay, if this is true, then it would be implemented. Your program is ended over here. Okay, if it is true, then this would be implemented. This condition, let's suppose you specify here some condition, that would be implemented. If both of the condition are failed, then your else will be implemented. So this is all about your if else, and if elif and else. The people who are coming from the CSC background, okay, from the C++ background, they are using over here else if. So Python say don't need to write a complete this else if. I am giving you simply name, that is the elif. That's it. So any doubt till now before giving you the assignment, please ask me. Please ask me if you have any doubt, because I am not showing you the practical part for the if and elif. I am leaving it on you. I am giving you the assignment very relevant to it. So no question, no doubt. Okay, good. So the next is your time for your assignment. Very simple assignment. The program number 1. Write a program. Very simple program. Find. Okay, not find this time. First, write a program. Very simple program. Write a program to check number is even or odd. Okay, even or odd. Okay, very simple. Understand this concept first. What is the even, what is the odd? Okay, then try to solve this. The second, write a program to check string is palindrome or not. First, focus on this word palindrome, then try to think it. Okay, the program number 3, write a program to check greater number between 3 numbers. Very simple program. Okay, write a program to check greater number between 5 numbers. Why I give you 5 numbers? Because if you made over here some mistake, then definitely you will confuse over here. So I will give you solution. Try to make by your own. After that I will give you the optimized solution for the same. Write a program to give the 5 numbers. Okay. So the 5th one is ask 5 subject marks, calculate percentage, and according to percentage. Very simple problem statements. According to percentage, that you have to grade them. According to percentage, you have graded them. Okay, grading for grading. If your percentage is greater than 90, then A plus grade. If your percentage is greater than 80, less than 90, okay, then A grade. Greater than 70, less than 80, then B. Greater than 60, less than 70, C. Less than 60, then fail. So this one your problem statement, your 5 problem statement. If you done these, your if and elif part is cleared. Okay, because this is very foundational, the assignments. Normally in the if and else, whenever you do C++, same kind of assignment would be given. Okay, but in the for loop, I will change the assignment level, because these are very simple and it will help you to understand the concept of if and else into the great detail, because here we will drill down this if and else in great detail into the 5 assignments. Okay, so these are your assignment. If you have any doubt regarding this assignment, please ask me.
Sorry, Talon here. Can you explain number 2 to me, what that word means?
The palindrome.
Yes.
Okay, the palindrome is very simple. My name is palindrome. N-I-T-I-N. Okay, this is the palindrome, because if I start from this side, N-I-T-I-N. If I start from this side, N-I-T-I-N. Okay, if you start from this direction, you will get the same, the same name. So madam, the madam, again, it's a palindrome. Start from this side, Okay, this is the palindrome. So any number entered by the user that you are supposed to tell it's a palindrome or not. Okay, we understand the concept how we can reverse a number. Now this time reverse a string and fit them into the if and else. Anything else from your side? If you want to ask any question before closing this session, please ask me. The recording will be available within 1 hour.